So understanding relationships and dependencies. So we have different type of relationships, which we have this finish to start, we have the start to start, we have the finish to finish, we have the finish to start to finish. Then we have the logical links, which we said are the predecessors and successors, using lag and lead time effectively, how we are going to use the lag and lead time effectively. So for the relationship, under your activity, you have to add. Okay, so under these activities, we have the predecessors and successors. So the predecessors are the activities that has to finish before the next activity, not necessarily has to finish. There are activity that occur before an activity, while the successors are activities that occur that will occur after an activity. So basically, predecessors are before, while successors are after. So how do we assign these predecessors and successors? So you can see under here we have our activity, we have our site clearance, and we have our topsoil excavation. So not just assigning them, you need a proper knowledge of construction technology in order to know which activity has to follow before another activity and which activity can start while another activity is going on. So all these things you need to have deep knowledge of project management and construction technology, most especially construction technology. So you can see we need to finish site clearance before we can start our topsoil excavation. So basically, our topsoil excavation is going to be uh, our site clearance is going to be the predecessor for uh, uh, our topsoil excavation. So we click on this assign button if you want to assign. You can see. So under here, I'm going to click on site clearance and click on assign. So another way is I can right click under this assign. I can click on assign predecessors or assign successor. So the moment I click on assign, it will also give me the same window it shows me here. So I will click on close. So you can see now our topsoil. So you can see we have assigned our predecessor. So now, what is going to be our successor for topsoil excavation? So to assign that, we can easily right click and then assign successor. So after our topsoil excavation, we can decide to start our trench excavation. So our trench excavation is going to be the successor of uh, topsoil excavation. So we'll click on trench excavation and then click on assign. So you can see here we've assigned our predecessor, we've assigned our successor. So you can see this is the logical link. It is showing you that from site clearance, we are moving to topsoil excavation. From soil excavation, we are moving to trench excavation. So this is the logical link you can see within this. So we have what we call here the activity network. So you can also check the activity network here. So you can see under the activity network, you can see this is our start clearance, this is our topsoil, and this is our trench excavation. So you can see these are within the link and logic, but the casting of bed and the pit excavation are not assigned to have no relationship or logical links. So this is how you read them. So I will switch back to our details. So now for the relationships, you can see when you click on this, we have the finish to finish, we have the finish to start, we have the start to finish, we have the start to start relationship. So here now we can decide that this topsoil excavation can have a start to start relationship with our site clearance. So basically what this means is finish to finish means that activity has to finish on the same date. While finish to start mean the predecessor must finish before the successor starts. While start to finish shows that that activity must start before the next activity can be finished. Then start to start means the two activities can start at the same time. So those are the basic uh, meaning of those relationships. So now we can decide that, okay, our topsoil excavation, maybe we have a very big site. So we can decide that instead of waiting to finish entire site clearance, we can have some team doing the site clearance while others will be behind them doing the topsoil excavation. So this will reduce our duration. So maybe if we need, let's say, 3 days or 4 days to finish the site clearance and topsoil excavation, when we start them at the same time, you can see we can have our duration to be slashed in two. Maybe if we have 4 days, we can finish within 2 days or one day. So basically, when you change this relationship now, so I'll click on the predecessor. So I'll change this relationship now to start to start. So mind you, you can see the way this arrow is pointing. So this is the finish of site clearance, and this is the start of topsoil excavation. This is how the relationship are, the logical links. So now, the moment I change this to this, you will see the difference between the way it is aligned. So I'll click on start to start, and you can see now it changes. This is the start of site clearance, and also this is the start of topsoil excavation. So now these two activities now has a start to start relationship. So when you have start to start relationship, you can see even in the date, you can see this one is starting on 23rd of September, and this one start on 22nd, and this one start on 23rd. So you can see basically we have like a 1 day difference between these two activities. So when you reschedule, it is going to be the same date. So that is that about the relationship, which we are going to explore them later on, more details when we start our um, practice or creating our new project. So that is that on the relationships. So moving, we have okay, we are done with the relationship types. We have the adding the logical links between the activities. We have add the logical links. So the next is using lag and lead time effectively. So what is lag and what is lead time? So you can see under your predecessor and also under your successor, we have what we call here lag. So this lag is basically additional days between two activities. That is what lag means. It can be positive, it can be negative. So when it is negative, it is called lead. Alaikum salam. So when it is negative, it is called lead. While when it is positive, it is called lag. But in practice, it is advisable to always use lag, not lead. The reason why is not good to use lead is whenever you have a lead, let's say for example now, this is lag. So I'm going to add a lag of um, 2 days between this start to start relationship. So what this means is uh, after I start, I have to start my site clearance with 2 days or one day before I can start my uh, topsoil excavation. So the moment I click on this add date, you can see the difference here. So it shows that we need additional one day before we can start the next activity. So if I reduce this to be -1, and I reschedule. So you can see that this activity now cannot be -1. And the reason why we don't need we don't use lag is when you say you have, let's say, this duration is what, 6 days, and you have a lead of, let's say, 2 days. So the reason why we don't use lag is it is hard to determine the actual start of this of its successor. So now when you have a lead, when it is negative, it is called a lead. So when you have a lead of 2 days, what it means that this set clearance here, the moment I change this set clearance or I reduce the date to 3 days, this starting date will also be affected. So now if I reduce 3 days, this will reduce also by 3 days. If I add 4 days, this will add by 4 days. So that is why it does not give you like a proper arrangement to determine the actual starting date of your successor. So that is why it is not advisable to use the lag. So it is basically, instead of you having okay, like the scenario I just explained, instead of you having a lag of 3 days, a lag of 3 days or 4 days, you can use this, what we use here, start to start relationship, and then put that additional 2 days or 3 days, so that you can be working on this and you can also be working on this independently without this affecting this relationship. So basically lags, sometimes when you have it on finish to finish, so the moment you have this lag, it will keep changing your actual duration. You can see this changes. So it will keep changing. So instead of you to have this lag, you can just make it a finish to start relationship. If you need additional 2 days or 4 days, you can just put the 4 days directly in here at the lag, not the lead. So that is how we use lag and then lead effectively. So the lesson 7 is just going to be a practical demo, which we are going to be creating a sample project and also a live walkthrough on everything. So basically, I think what we have here, we have already started working on it. So what we just need to do is to just add more activities and then more WBS to this entire project, which for this, I'm going to allow you to do that because we have covered the basics. We've covered all the interface. We've covered how to create WBS. We've covered how to create activities. We've covered the relationships. We've covered the durations. We've covered the lag, the lead, the predecessors, and the successors. So I'm going to share um, a BOQ with you. So you are going to use that BOQ to create a basic activity list, with its WBS for that project. A very simple project, not a big project, just a gatehouse. So you prepare the WBS, the activities, the durations, you assign the relationships. If there is need for lag, you add. If there is need for lead, you also add. Then we'll go through it, or you can submit before our next class. I will go through it. Then during our next class, we can just brush through it and then move on. So you submit before our next class so that we'll assess. And during our next class, then we'll just brush through it. So I will share the uh, BOQ with you after this session. So the next we have Q&A. So any question before we round up for today?